I'm Misty.
And I'm Ike.
For the next 15 minutes,
We're going to debate pop culture.
my background's in music.
My background's in film.
I know the topics beforehand.
And I don't.
We check the internet for the facts,
And ruin it with opinions.
from pop rocks in your lunchbox.
To Happy Meal toys and swatch clocks.
Hello, Sally.
Hello, Jack.
How are you?
I'm acceptable.
I accept you.
I am acceptable. I was going to say exceptional, and it didn't come out right.
Acceptable.
So it came out acceptable.
Oh, was your little pumpkin not on
It
for the last
wasn't.
one?
I forgot to turn it on. So if they...
We'll have to redo it.
And no, I don't think so. But welcome to Halloween Town.
Hello, Halloweeners.
Hello, Halloweenies.
Leave a comment and tell us if you like wieners or weenies better.
I think weenies is just funny.
I like saying wieners.
Because you're a boy. You like to talk about wieners.
Well, they both mean the same thing.
No, weenie is somebody that's a wuss.
So's a wiener.
No, wiener is your...
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that thing.
Yes.
That's a wiener.
That is a wiener.
A weenie is a wuss.
A wuss.
A sucker. A person that is not brave.
What shall we talk about today?
I want to talk about urban legends today.
Ooh, the movie?
I love Urban Legend, the movie.
That was a pretty
I
good
may
one.
go home and watch it tonight.
It was. I don't remember it being that scary either.
It has its moments.
There's like three. How many urban legend movies?
I only watched the first one.
Ooh, then you're in for a treat.
You know that has one of our favorite podcasters in it, right?
I cannot type in this mask. Who?
Michael Rosenbaum.
Oh yeah.
Michael Rosenbaum is in it, as well as Josh Jackson and Rebecca Gayheart and Natasha Wagner. Wow, how do I remember these things?
I don't know.
I don't even have that up in front of me. I really don't. I just remember these things.
Guess how much money Urban Legend made at the box office?
How much?
$72.5 million.
Wow. That's impressive.
It came out in 98.
Right.
I'm going to meow now.
I think you should meow.
My face recognition is not working.
I can't imagine why. I mean, that's your face.
We need a meow sound on here so I can just be like, meow.
We actually do. Yeah.
Okay, we've meow.
We'll work on that later. So, urban legends. Urban legends are generally those stories that circulate around, like you'll be sitting around a campfire or you'll be, a Friday night with a bunch of friends. And it always starts with, I know this guy whose cousin, or I know.
Yeah. This has to be true because my cousin saw a guy who knows the real dude who worked at the gas station. Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Which indicates at that point that it's a story that's been passed down and passed around, and translated from person to person to person.
Mm-hmm.
So if you kind of break that down, what's great about that is that a lot of urban legends aren't actually true.
No.
They're stories that have been created to warn someone about bad behavior. So essentially, one of the big, huge urban legends is the couple that goes out parking out in the woods and they hear like scraping on the top of the car and the guy gets out and he gets murdered. Basically, what that's doing is that's telling a young girl, don't go and be promiscuous with your boyfriend.
Right.
Like that's the...
Sex kills.
Right. So what I want to talk about is there are a lot of those urban legends. Which ones actually came from real stories? Like, is there a kidney stealing cult out there? Or does that mean don't buy a hooker?
Weird.
Because that story always starts with a guy goes to a bar and sees a pretty girl and she invites him back to her hotel room, but she ends up being a hooker. And then they get in and there's like two dudes and they steal his kidney. Is that true? Like, is there a kidney stealing cult?
I hope so.
I hope so too.
So I got to
Don't buy hookers.
I got to take Jack off.
I understand. I do.
That was a joke.
No, I get it.
That's hard to wear, man.
It's got to be hot under there.
It's not. I'm so used to smelling my own breath this year from wearing other masks. It's just I can't type in my urban legend stuff.
Okay, that's fair too. I mean,
I've got one.
Okay, tell me.
You probably heard the Pueblo Tunnels.
I've never heard of those.
Puebla City. Citizens of Pueblo,
Pueblo,
I'm
Colorado.
a good pronunciator.
You're a good pronunciator.
Located in the southeast of Mexico, told folk tales about a mysterious network of tunnels hidden beneath the city. For hundreds of years, no such tunnels were ever found, so people assumed that they were nothing more than the stuff of legends. But then...
Da da da!
But then, in 2015, a construction crew discovered a very real tunnel beneath the city. Crews began excavating the site and eventually discovered around 6 miles of tunnels snaking under Puebla streets.
So they were real.
The tunnels, which are believed to have been constructed from the 16th century all the way through the 19th century, have been opened as tourist attractions today. On the other hand, there are some forbidden places no one will ever be allowed to visit.
You're a good reader of scary.
I made half of that up. Have you ever heard of the Pueblo Tunnels?
I haven't, and
that was kind of a shitty one, huh?
Well, I mean, it doesn't really go along with like, to me, urban legends are more like the babysitter, the calls coming from inside the house, things like that.
I'm gonna get you.
Like that, to me, that story actually would have gone really well in our Space Week of like mysterious spots.
Oh
in the
yeah,
US. Let's
find a time machine and zip it back into that episode.
Or you know what? People could just go back to Space Week and listen to that episode and think about that story being a part of it.
If you get too scared during Halloween week, go back to Space Week.
Yeah.
I got another one.
Okay.
But do you have one while I read this proofreading?
Proofreading. Yeah. I do. The body that's under the bed.
Ooh.
You hear a lot of those stories of, a vacationing couple like newlyweds or Disneyland guest that, they go to a hotel and, they're exhausted after getting there and they just fall immediately to sleep. And then they wake up and there's a terrible smell coming from under the bed or the mattress. And they, slowly closer, peek under the bed and there's a dead body.
Where did it come from?
So this tale has actually been confirmed several times. At least a dozen newspaper stories have detailed hotel rooms that has doubled as body disposal sites.
Oh.
The smell is usually apparent right away, but at least one couple slept on a mattress containing a body in Atlantic City in 1999. Cases in Colorado, Florida, and Virginia have also been reported. So basically what they have done is they've cut the mattress open, emptied some of the stuffing out, shoved a dead body in it, and flipped it over and put it back on the bed.
That doesn't seem like a very effective way to dispose of a body.
Right?
Write that down.
Okay.
Put that on the list.
Do not shove a dead body in because, you have to register for the hotel room, and now they would just track you down. There's videos.
Well, you have to steal a credit card first.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay, hit me. Are you ready?
Have you heard of Charlie No Face?
No, tell me.
This 20th century urban legend haunted residents of Pittsburgh.
I always have felt like Pittsburgh is super haunted anyway.
Dude, most of
Pennsylvania
is messed. Sorry, folks, if you live in Pennsylvania, but you need to move.
I think it's all because of all of the Amish.
So the legend has it that a figure with a severely burned face lurked around an abandoned train tunnel at night.
I just got to chill.
And made electricity go haywire with his very presence.
Oh my gosh.
Curious teenagers would sneak out to the tunnel and try and catch a glimpse of him. Turns out, Charlie No Face was actually a real person. But his name wasn't Charlie.
It was No Face.
It was Mr. No Face.
Excuse me, Mr. No Face.
Misty, we'll see you now.
Me.
Yeah. His name was Raymond Robinson. Why would you put that out on the internet? But he did have a suffered a severe accident involving an electrical line that left him with a disfigured face. Because of this, he became a bit of a recluse, staying inside during the day and only venturing out at night. But he didn't do any haunting. In fact, he was friendly and would occasionally let curious teenagers take pictures with him in exchange for cigarettes.
Oh.
Raymond. No-Face Charlie.
That makes me, I don't know, it makes me sad for Raymond.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of the Main Hermit? I love this story.
The Main Hermit? Like, that's my main
like
hermit right there.
No, not like my main man hermit. No, like the state Maine.
Of course.
There has long been an urban legend about a hermit that lives in a forest in Maine. For decades, people who vacationed, it was like in the central part, I believe. There's a giant lake or, pond area. Things would go missing from where they were vacationing. Like they would go camping and like things would disappear out of their tents, like batteries and food and flashlights. So, soon rumors started to spread that there was someone in the area that was clearly foraging for sustenance and for supplies. And nobody could ever really figure it out. But dun, dun, dun. For 27 years, a man named Christopher Knight lived alone in the woods.
The Dark Knight.
He kept tabs on hikers and other temporary residents that were on the grounds. He was confronted by a game warden in 2013, and he admitted that he was responsible for an average of around 40 robberies a year of people staying at the campsites. And he had become just an urban legend. Like, people are like, oh, I saw something lurking. And they're like, oh, it's just the hermit. Ha, 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 ha. No, there's really a guy out there for 27 years in the woods, not a house, like living in the woods, watching people that were there camping.
I'm getting a little freaked out.
3 decades.
That's a long time to be camping.
Yeah. And so they finally arrested him because they
But
found him.
I bet after 27 years, you could make your fort like real nice.
Right?
I mean,
can you imagine how many flashlights and batteries he had?
Well, probably just enough. I mean, he had to use them every day. People who only camp on the weekends usually.
Yeah. Cool, huh? I mean, weird.
That's kind of a new life goal of mine.
To be a hermit?
Yeah.
I don't think you would do very well.
But like somewhere like Hawaii. Living off of coconuts that I can't eat.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well.
You got any others?
I got a couple. They're not great. So this one says there's one about gators in the sewers, but that's like.
Oh, that's yeah.
There's just gators in the sewers,
There's
bro.
just gators in the sewers.
There is one called the Polybus video game.
Ooh, that's the thing in Portland.
Uh-huh. Well,
yeah.
According to the legend, the video game Polybius, Polybius, such a good spieler, was released for about a month in 1981, Portland, Oregon. The game was designed by the government to be a psychological experiment.
Yeah.
It functioned like a drug, and it gave its players seizures and nightmares. Government officials would come in and extract information about the players through the arcade machine. Though the game was almost certainly not real, there are a few video game-related happenings that probably spurned the legend. One was the game Tempest, which did cause epileptic reactions and motion sickness among some players when it was released in 81. Mm-hmm. Another was that the FBI agents did inspect an arcade game around the same time, investigating reports of gambling.
That's interesting.
Interesting. Polybius.
I remember hearing about that, like, as a kid. It was a big deal, like, because I was around when, like, the original, like, Ataris came out and things like that. But before that, we played arcade games. And I remember, I mean, even in my weird little tiny Kansas town, somehow that story and that urban legend, like, don't play the video games too long because they may make you crazy.
Right.
Or the government might be trying to, like, steal your brain.
Your face will stick that way.
Right. Weird.
Whoa. I got another, like, creeper dude in the woods story.
Okay, I like creeper dudes in the woods.
Le Loyon.
Okay.
Recently, the people of Switzerland began telling stories about a mysterious figure who walked through the Maules Forrest, Maules Forrest, wearing a camouflage and a gas mask. Can you imagine?
Ew.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, just walking around with like a poncho, camouflage poncho, and a gas mask.
I do not like that at all.
For 10 years, there was no evidence that this figure existed, just a few eyewitness accounts in the newspaper. According to those accounts, he didn't show any signs of being dangerous or malicious, but he sure was creepy. With no concrete evidence of his existence, the figure maintained the realm of folklore. People began calling him the Ghost of Maules. I don't know, Maules, whatever, or Le Lion. In 2013, though, his existence was proven when a pedestrian snapped this photo. You can click on it in this article, and boy, is that a creepy picture. Oh.
I am
hood,
super
mask.
not into
And he's
that.
walking away from this photographer. He's not even like interested in what's going on. Ugh.
Okay, I love scary stuff. You know that. Like, I'm super into scary stuff. I am not into real scary stuff.
Okay, you want to know what's even scarier?
Yeah?
A few months later, his gas mask and camouflage coat appeared in the woods, along with a mysterious note hinting that he was harmless and could no longer stand being viewed as some kind of monster.
Well, then why was he walking around wearing a gas mask randomly?
Maybe it smells bad in Switzerland.
It doesn't. I've been there. It smells like chocolate. It's wonderful.
It smells like chocolate.
It smells like Swiss chocolate.
It smells like chocolate.
It smells like hopes and dreams.
It smells like...
Halloween.
We should do like a scary stories episode.
Well, I'm going to tell you my most favorite of all of the urban legends right now. The Hook. The Hook Man.
From I Know What You Did Last Summer?
No, but I bet that's probably where they created that character.
Mm-hmm.
So the Hook is about a killer. He has a pirate-looking hook for a hand. And the story is that he attacks a couple in a parked car. The story is thought to date back to at least the 50s and gained a lot of attention because it was printed in the advice column Dear Abby in 1960.
For what?
Like, that's how far this urban legend went.
Somebody was trying to get dating advice on...
Dear Abby wasn't all about that. Like, Dear Abby was... it was an advice column, but it also was, like, a very pop culture relevant, like, thing.
Oh, we should have her on the show.
She's dead.
Are you just saying that because it's Halloween?
No, I'm pretty sure Dear Abby's dead. I think. I mean, she was old when I was a kid.
And then they see her walking the streets at night.
I don't think so.
Dear Abby haunts Abbeville.
Anyways, like, generally, like I said earlier, the story is that two kids go out into the woods to go parking, and they hear a creak.
Oh, no thanks.
Creak.
Nope. That's a full nope.
Or the alternate to that story is that the guy has to pee. So they're out in the woods, so he gets out of the car to go pee. And he doesn't come back.
Where did he go?
So the girl who's sitting in the car has to, she's like, what am I going to do? And then all of a sudden, she hears the creak.
Oh, gross.
And she gets out of the car to investigate. And Hookman kills her. As she looks up dying, she sees her boyfriend hung from a tree because Hookman killed him.
What are you doing in the tree, Randy?
He got hung from the tree by Hookman. The Hookman.
And this is true?
No, not at all.
I
not even remotely.
I thought it was
No.
true urban legend day.
No, it was just scare teenagers. I mean, there are like alternative stories that are like, oh, it kind of sounded a little bit like this. Like, I think there was something in like Texarkana or something that was very, very similar to it. But no, it was a story that somebody made up to scare teenagers from going out into the woods and necking, making out.
Well, as long as it's not Thanksgiving.
We'll see you at Halloween.
Ha ha ha. I think I can't turn this stuff off with this mask.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.